This is the number one mistake that you want to avoid. You have to avoid when starting your digital agency. So this was a costly mistake for my team and I early on. And it goes like this, right? Where you onboard a client and voluntarily you just morph yourself straight off the bat and position yourself as the client's little bitch. And that causes so much pain down the line. In fact, for me, I remember coming into the office and thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to start this day. And that was a horrible, horrible feeling. When we first started Right Hook, Scott and I, no network, no framework. We weren't ex-Facebook, ex-agency employees or anything like that. So the first year, 2 years was just packed with doing a whole bunch of dumb shit. And one of the biggest ones was allowing ourselves to onboard clients and not position ourselves properly, accidentally position ourselves like there is essentially at their whim and fancy, and not managing expectations properly. And here's how the trap goes. You're just starting out the business, revenue is top of mind, and bringing clients through the door is the most important thing because you just need cash flow. You need money. You need to be able to grow this and hire new people. You need money in the bank to hire those people. So every single thing in the environment is saying just close more clients and just do good enough job to close more clients and then do enough job for those clients to get more clients. And when you're put in that position, the justification becomes they don't have to be absolutely ideal. It's fine if we have to make some concessions and every client just has to come in and we serve them. And that really was the absence of that understanding of servant leadership. So before understanding that concept of servant leadership and how to actually live that, we were just onboarding clients where, oh, on paper they look good. They were ready to pay us money. Why put obstacles in front of them like difficult conversations or managing expectations, or are you sure that you can give us the content that we need to convert into ad content, ad creative, or angles? So we thought remove as much friction as possible from the sales process, just get them through the door, get them to sign the proposal, and we're good to go. The troublesome thing with the agency game is the feedback loop for negative ROI only comes typically after the fact. So if we do a good job of closing without managing expectations, without that servant leadership and pandering to the prospect to get that sale, then they can very quickly turn into nightmare clients or a nightmare relationship a month in, 2 months in, 3 months in. Not because of them, right? You might just have to look in the mirror and go, wait, we created this. We didn't set the expectation, or we said stuff like, oh, you know that thing that you were talking about where you don't have a photographer or a videographer or any type of internal capability for content. Don't worry about that. We can cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, we've set up the strategy. We told you what the game plan is. Just sign here, please. Pay us that initial kickoff invoice, and then off we go. So by not understanding that we need to come forward with servant leadership, talk about these things to start. Where could things go well? Where could things not go well? What are the risks to this project? What could put us in those risks? That really kicked us in the ass super, super hard. And it was super costly because then this client fires one, spreads to the next one, and spreads to the next one. Think about it like you're running a daycare center. If all are happy and playing, no problem. But if one starts like violently vomiting or crying all the time or being super demanding, it's gonna soak up your attention to that one and the rest start to suffer. And now you're spending less time delighting them, you're spending less time troubleshooting, you have less available resources there because the squeakiest wheel gets the most attention kind of a deal. And that puts you in a world of hurt. That's just one. If it's 2, different story. If it's 3, different story, and can really start to pile on you. And that was so painful. So painful. All right, hold up for a second. All this free stuff that we're giving you right now, hopefully you're learning a whole bunch. Let us know in the comments below what you want to hear about, what you want to learn next. All right, back into it. So if you are in one of those toxic, difficult, quote unquote, nightmare relationships right now, there are pathways to take from here that move away from just, biting down on it and just bearing through it, right? The first one, which is what we did for some of our clients, first and foremost, look in the mirror and assess what we could have done better, instead of just point fingers and say, roll your eyes and go, yeah, clients will always be clients. Look at ourselves and go, well, what are those things? That's the first thing. The next thing is to actually go approach those clients and reset expectations, opening with an apology. We up. We did not say these things. We did not set those expectations, but we've learned from that now. We would love to realign what the goals are and how we can play a part into that. And that can be a really refreshing conversation, because in corporate, in the world of business, apologies, genuine ones, authentic ones, are so hard to come by. They usually come in the way of, I'm sorry that you felt that way.
I'm sorry that you're both morons.
But that's what we did back then, to go, we apologize, we messed up. We're having this conversation because we want to put you in the best position to succeed, which will also then put us in the best position to succeed. So let's have this conversation. And would you be open to something like that and changing the tone moving forward? On the other hand, that might not actually work. And this comes down to the other part, which is sometimes you just have to let go and part ways with the client. The more bravado way of saying this is you should fire your clients, which sounds super gung-ho and macho, but really, if we're focused on their success, and we're focused on placing them in the best position to succeed, if we're focused on doing the right thing for the marketplace, have that conversation with them and say, hey, we don't believe that it's right for us to keep taking your money while we're in this situation. I'm sure out there would be an agency that can do better for you and that might suit you better, and you might suit them better as well, right? If you would like, I would be more than happy to reach out to my network to see if there are some people that I could recommend to you. Understand if you don't need that at all. And in the meantime, if you need to transition out into that, we can support you on that journey and transition over to the next agency. But again, because I'm here for your success, we need to have this conversation now. We need to recognize that this will be the best way moving forward. If you want to avoid getting into these nightmare relationships in the first place, I would highly compel you to listen more than you speak, to gain intel more than try to close. The more that we are speaking, the less that we are listening. And sometimes, a lot of the time, you might have a sales team, or it might be you yourself. Any type of agency salesperson or closer ends up doing more hearing than actually listening. So can we actually listen in to what those needs are? And then also the next part, understand that you don't need to close every single client. The world is a big place. Your market, hopefully you've positioned yourself and you've picked a market where the addressable market, the total addressable market, the TAM, is big enough. And that's fine. So in that way, please do not feel like, or do not brief your sales team to go close every single prospect that comes through the door. We're looking for a mutual fit. We're not looking to just close. Again, because the moment you take on a client, either for a project work, right? That could be 3 months, or ongoing management. What's gonna end up happening is you're gonna stay and partner with them and collaborate with them for that period of time. You do too good a job closing because of your razzle-dazzle sales techniques. You bring them through the door. Your team now has to deal with the world of pain, and the clients that really want to pay you and collaborate with you and are super willing to hear and listen to your expertise, they don't get as much attention because you've got this fire to deal with. So listen in, don't close everyone. Not everyone's meant to be closed. And when you do bring them on, during that onboarding process, manage expectations tightly. Let your client know what you need from them for you to succeed, and hear and listen in intently on what success means for them. Get those things right. That will put you on very, very even, sure footing as you move forward.
Hey Founder Fam, did you love this video? Well, if you did, you can join us right now and attend a free training session with today's founder where we'll go even more in depth. Click here and we'll see you soon.